3. We want to welcome every day to Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite people are mom and dad. Yay! And I saw someone that looked like Hante.
Yeah, she's coming in.
What? Hante's again? Oh, yes, this is so awesome.
Jenny's in the house too.
And Jenny's in the house? Man, Jenny,
Terrell is here.
And Terrell.
bring the whole family up.
Terrell?
Terrell, bring Terrell up too. Tell them all come up here. We want them on Mom and Dad Talks. Bring the whole family in there.
Yeah.
So, today, we had such a great response last week because people didn't realize that there was a time in this country where people were, how do I say it? Cordial, nice, respectful, not as intrusive as they were. I mean, even in death, very polite people. I mean, you telling that story of how Martin Luther King passed away, and that next week you went to the house and they took you to the gravesite. They didn't have to do that. And today that's just so unheard of there, but that's a great piece of history here. So now that we have that, another piece of history here, especially African American or black history, Emmet Till. He was born July 25th, 1941, and died August 28th, 1955 at the age of 14. Now, he wasn't that much older than you guys,
Mm-hmm.
but the impact of what happened to him impacted you guys at such a powerful young age that you guys still remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm astonished about it. That's not too much older than you. And I can't imagine that having my mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it hits home that, people didn't care about a young black person, a human being, all because of keeping these crazy rules. So tell me a little bit about what were you guys, and what did you feel like when Emmet Till? What happened when Emmet Till passed? You guys were young. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We were going to the Niles Adventist School. I was in 5th grade. And I remember my father, that just did him in so much when that happened to that young man. I'm telling you, he got the Chicago Sun-Times every day, I think, for about 6 months. But they never did. They did find they didn't go after the man that did that to him. But that plagued my dad. He was just, there was just no rest with him. That's what I remember mostly of Emmet Till's death that he met, untimely death.
Mm-hmm. And I have something to say on that.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Hante. You still look good, Hante. Don't worry about it.
You edit this really good. Now, mind you, today's tragedies is discussed in the home, and out of the home.
Yeah.
But Emmet Till was not discussed at school.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
Wow.
Whatever we heard, my father would get it from the newspaper and then come home and tell us, you kids. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
So what we have was all from a, shall we say, a point of view from someone who was affected deeply. So the name would never leave us. I mean, he was near tears when he come and tell us what he read in the newspaper that day. That he said, you kids, he said, you are so precious to me. If this anything like this happened, he said, I wouldn't be able to take it. And he was putting himself in the place of his mother, who was just crying out, that her son was taken away from her like that. So what we have in our hearts it has been transformed or transitioned from him to us. That's why. So it's so deep. It's really deep.
When they found Emmet Till, I believe his face was kind of disfigured. And his mother said, we are going to show him in the coffin like this because I want people to see what these men did to my son. I remember that. So she laid it all out there and let people, like pay their respects to her son who
Mm.
lost his life so tragically.
And I believe what A.A. Rayner was the funeral home
Mhm.
that took care of the funeral arrangements for him.
Mm.
I remember reading about it in the Ebony and Jet magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that my father especially told us, when you go anywhere, go with someone else. Don't go by yourself. Don't go by yourself. Go with someone else. Never go alone. And of course, in Cassopolis, nothing happened, but
Mm-hmm.
still there was that threat
Yeah.
in a small northern town.
Wow. I mean, it brings chills down my back just to think that you had to have a conversation. Your parents were so torn up
Mhm.
Mhm.
and so tragic about this, that this could happen to their child, that it just made them like, want to do something about it. And wow. I mean, I just can't imagine, because you guys grew up in a different time where kids were supposed to be seen and not heard.
You're
People don't
right.
understand that.
Mhm.
Right? You guys, when you play outside. When you do this, you go out there. When you say yes or no, it was that you don't speak and talk back to your parent. When your parents say, I mean, it was just a different time back then, right? And all of a sudden, something so heinous.
Especially when racial tension was very, very, very ugly
Yeah.
back then. It was made. You really had to be on your guard not to be in harm's way with anybody who did not like this race of being of the black race.
Yeah.
You did not want to be that way, because we looked and saw what they did to Emmett Till.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept that in our minds. Okay, that could be us. So we need to stay in our
Be cautious.
be cautious, be careful, and not say anything out of content that would make the opposite race do harmful things to us.
Like I said, it was such a different time. Here's one man, young man, boy, not even experienced in life. It almost brings tears to my eyes thinking about it, that people gouged his face out. Have you ever had a chance to go to the Black History Museum? They don't, you have to go to it to see the coffin.
Right.
At the bottom when you go into that section there, and then they show you what graphically had to be displayed to the parents. Even to this day, I have a hard time looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine how evil people can be, to the point they're going to take a young man's life like that and not even care, just because of the color of skin.
Supposedly whistling at a white woman.
Yeah, just whistling.
But they said that he had a speech or something impediment where when he talks,
he had the whistle.
It was a whistle.
Right.
And years later, the lady that accused us of that never happened.
Yeah. And the sad thing about it is, you got people who are on the other side think, well, he should never whistle at that white woman. It would never happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, even after everything you've seen, even after, you still have some sick people out there, unfortunately, that still think, well, he deserved what he got because that was the time.
Well, look at what happened recently. A lot of people think that George Floyd got what he deserved.
Yeah.
He was a criminal.
Yeah.
And he got what he deserved by that white police officer strangling him.
In front of people, witnesses, in front of a camera.
Yes.
It's almost like racism never goes out of style. I mean, but because like I said, I can't imagine, because see this, I mean, what was the television news like about the Emmett Till? Can I ask you guys that? I mean, what did television even show anything about it? What did it do?
TV, black and white television.
We had a black and white television. Edward R. Murrow. I remember watching Edward R. Murrow on TV about the Emmett Till murder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very good reporting, but still, it was very distressful.
Just so you guys know, the person, the beautiful lady back there, is my cousin,
I don't want to disturb.
Jennifre Alfred. No, Jen. No, it's too late now, girlfriend. You're on Mom and Dad Talks. It's gonna go all over YouTube.
It's a great conversation. I was sitting over here enjoying it. So
but that's okay. We can always use you.
I'll continue. I loved it. It's beautiful.
love you. And so, I mean, when I think about that, I think it's just You know, and even when I look at this, I see 14. You know, at 14 years old, I was just getting on in life. Didn't know what life was all about, and this man had to face terror, domestic terrorism, and these guys, just because they wanted to kill somebody, they just wanted to take them out. And so, you know, like I said, you know, so the news media, your parents came to you, and let me ask another question here. So this was the start of this. This is what they say is the start of the civil rights movement. Was the last straw. Something had to be done. Your parents, what did they feel needed to be done, and did they support the civil rights movement at that time when it started to get kicked off? Let me ask you that, and just be honest.
That was a tough time.
Yeah.
You almost whispered Emmett Till's name. You know, you almost didn't say it out of your home. You know, so there was not a vision for us as Black people to say, this is not happening again. There was not a platform for it. You know, if there were any people that did not go along, that or did go along with it, with the Emmett Till, I mean, you almost didn't say it out loud because he was tried and convicted. You know, I mean, you never took sides with someone who was guilty. I mean, they didn't even bother to you know, and I can't remember. I hope I'm correcting this. I can't remember the NAACP coming forward and saying, we're going to handle this. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's amazing, and you know, I just can't imagine being at that time frame in the 50s. You know, that was a whole different time frame. That was a whole different thought process. You know, playing outside with your friends now becomes dangerous. You know, it's different than it is today. It's still dangerous. It's funny how the more things change, the more they stay the same. That's the sad part about this whole thing. You know, you got to watch your kids even outside, and you got to watch them with police officers there, because every Black man seems to be a threat these days, even if they don't carry anything. And a lot of it's because I believe that they just don't want to feel like they see people. They want to see objects. You know, and when you turn someone to an object, it's just easy to take them out. And that's the sad part about this whole tragedy, that we just want to be human beings and all live together, right? The pursuit of happiness. What do you want to say, Dad?
Well, you know, I have to give kudos out to the Cass County Police Department and the Sheriff's Department. My sister-in-law's car stopped on the corner of Hospital Street and 62 and stopped dead. And while we were waiting for the record to come, the Cass County Police came by and they pulled up behind us with their lights on. And I got out, and they were very cordial and friendly. And obviously they saw that I was a Black man.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is a white woman. But they were very cordial and friendly to us. And they asked if they could do anything for us. And they stayed for about 5-10 minutes and went on. So, yeah, we do have some, how do you say it, undesirable police officers. But we have some great, great police officers.
We have some great men in the police office. I don't like to bash them or anything like that. We're just addressing that we do have a problem, but we have a lot of great officers that do their job, that take care of the neighborhoods like they're supposed to, and do it well. And I want to give that shout out to them. Thank you, Dad, for reminding that we got some great folk out there. You know, so, you know, before we get ready to close here, are there any last thoughts about that you want to say? Because like I said, this is just fascinating to me about you guys talking about this time frame and what it was like. It's just, I'm going back in time to something I have no idea about that will never come back again, you know. But this was such a tragedy, and you guys lived through it. You guys lived through this history. And so I think this is wonderful, especially during Black History Month. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll be back to the regular Mom and Dad talks about some fun talks and stuff like that. But I think it's so important that they understand the time frame and the history of what was going on during that time frame, because these were pivotal moments in your life. And you guys lived through all of it.
Yes.
And continue to live through all of it.
Yes, the Black Panther movement and the Black Pride movement. You know, we've lived through a lot of stuff.
you know, and thank you all. So we're gonna, Hante, did you want to say something before we get off?
No, I was just going through, you know, George Floyd was recently.
Yeah.
Emmett Till was what, 50 some years ago.
Yeah.
60.
60, 60.
Yeah. Yeah. 60
some
something.
years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, we say to the public, we've made strides, but we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go.
Yes, and that's a great way to put it. Thank you.
I'm totally amazed that racism is still in our system. You know, we're the richest country in the world, the most progressive country in the world, and still we're dealing with racism. That is just astounding.
Yeah. In 2021, it's still an issue here in America. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming out to Mom and Dad Talks. Yay! Thank you for coming. Thank you for Jen throwing us a blow by there real quick, Jen. Next time we want you on the show, Jen. But Hante, you represent the family very well. And Mom and Dad, you always represent very well. I love you guys. Your eyes are awesome. This would not be without you. So next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks for next time. Love everybody.
Love you.